Welcome back to the BrickCity podcast. It's another month. It's your boy again, Peter, and I've kidnapped three other people for the podcast and our mystery producer. Um, this time around, we're going to be talking about another deck episode. So what we want to do is every other month, kind of around the time set releases, we give everyone a month, and then we pick some people who are known to have played the deck from the past, and then see how the new supported an old legacy deck. So for this time around, we're going for the BT21 Armor deck. So with me, I've got Oz,
Hey, how's it going?
I've got Lack,
Hey, hello.
and I've got some guy.
Hello, I am indeed a person, not just some guy.
No, like his name is some underscore guy, not just he's not just some guy. So how you boys doing?
Well,
Good.
you know, you're living life.
Living the dream.
And I know we just came off two major events back to back here, so this will kind of date when we're recording this. We had Niagara 2 weeks ago, and then we had Anime North on the weekend here. Did anyone get a chance to play in any of those?
I played
No.
in Niagara.
Yeah,
I'm
anyone
just
have a story?
gonna say spoiler warning. Unfortunately, Armours did not make any of the top 16 of any of the offline regionals this month.
Hey man, shit happens, right? It's more about like seeing what the deck's got, and then eventually we're gonna see more and more support, and then have fun with it. Alrighty, so just there's no like real way of doing this other than just by interrogation, but like just jumping into it. How do you guys feel about the new toys? I know in BT21 we got what? We got a Flamedramon. We got the new Magnamon I see people use a lot. I know we got the new Lighdramon. Uh, the 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 Davis, and then the Davis option. I don't know the name of the option.
Armor
It's literally
Digivolution.
called Armor Digivolution.
Oh,
Yeah.
And new Veemon.
I know it as anime screenshot card, the anime screenshot card. But yeah,
Yeah.
like how did those feel?
You
I
want
mean,
first?
overall,
It is fun.
I'll talk about it quick. The Flamedramon, I haven't used it. Don't think I ever will. The Lighdramon completely power creeps the old Lighdramon, which is really unfortunate because I really like the top four art that it had for the evolution cups. And then the Magnamon is actually another decent removal option, so I really like that. And going on to the option card, actually, I'll save the option card for last. Going on to the Davis, it's specifically for armors, thank God, because it seemed like Bandai was having a tough time differentiating between Imperial and Armor sometimes, and they get to have the mixed bag between both of them. But now this is just a tamer for armors, which was good. And then I think the best card for the deck right now is actually like Armor Digivolution in the form that we know it as, just because it serves as a way of interacting on your opponent's turn in some capacity. So I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, because it procs off anything removing the armor, right? So like if you armor purge or if you get like Digivolved, I know it goes off too.
Correct.
So
Also,
like, that's kind of crazy.
Also, my favorite interaction is, hey, I'm gonna tap this Davis, gain the memory, draw a card. Oh, look, I ended up armor purging off of that. Let me just trigger this option real quick and go into something for free. Why not?
Yeah, it's always such a good combo to keep yourself going.
It's an offensive and defensive card, and you gotta love it for the 3 cost. And it's a search.
Yeah, Lack, how do you feel about some of the new toys? I know you haven't had a chance to play too much, but like just looking at the theory side, right?
Well, the Armor Digivolution is really good for, well, this like the protection on opponent's turn, but it's also just cheats a lot of memory on your own turn. So you can like go into like multiple Magnamons per turn. Like that's why because I'm playing the Flamedra, so it's like budget version. Like you don't want it to die now, so you can Davis into Armor Digivolution and just keep going off the one stack.
Oh, because Davis could just proc it on its own. I'm like, how do you use Davis if it's not dying? I forgot that Davis could just strip the armor
That's
himself.
what I was trying. Yeah.
You don't need armor texture. You can just use the Davis, and then it will restand it. With the new Magnamon is another like unsuspend, so it's just more procs. And if it does die, then you can just restand again with Magnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so now you want it to die. Instead of the last one, it would be too big to die, right? So you can just let it die as a 7K, and then you just keep restanding it, right?
Yeah, like I find this this new strategy of like, I think that's kind of the power fantasy they had originally, which was kind of swing, don't care about what it is, because if it dies, you can go into like another one, and then now they've had the extra Magnamon in conjunction with the BT8 one that lets you just keep unsuspending and go for more checks if you have the memory.
It's important to note that armor texture is a you may Digivolve as well. So just by having it to trash something to then proc armor Digivolution is also a good tool to use.
Oh, by paying its Digivolve cost. Oh, so you could armor texture, remove something, proc like either the option or Davis, go into that, right? Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know about that. See, good
It is
tech.
interesting.
Hopefully our producer at some point is flashing all these cards on screen, and then he'll also have the lists up at some point. We'll have everyone's list, and then if you need it, they'll also be in the description, so you kind of see what we got here. And then I kind of alluded to it. Lack hasn't been playing as much. You'll see some interesting choices that we'll talk about in the later section, and then we'll be able to kind of talk through kind of like a more budget kind of build because he's missing a couple pieces. But you know, the theory's all there. But yeah, like I don't know if you guys are collectors. I kind of whale off for some of my decks, but do we have any alt art collectors here? Any Oz? Do you? I know you play this.
I
What
know. Yes.
what's your favorite card, man? How much you spent on this? Actually, you don't have to say that. We could bleep it.
Don't do this to me, man. Okay, so yeah, like pretty much I literally have only alt arted 2 decks in this game, and unfortunately, this is one of them. Shows what I know for having a favorite Digimon or some bull crap.
Hey man,
like
it's a protagonist deck.
I know. But yeah, like just by saying that, it costed a pretty penny.
Did you have any difficulty getting some of the cards? Like, what was like some of the more difficult pieces to get?
You would think that actually at the time, like the Magnamon X's weren't actually that hard to get. It was more or less the price that I was willing to pay for them at the time. And I don't regret the price that I paid for them. But they were still pretty pricey.
Mhm.
And it seems like the retaining value up there anyway, so I guess it wasn't that bad of a purchase. Um, for this new set, obviously we got one new alt art, which was the Davis Tamer. And believe it or not, those were actually pretty easy to come by. It seemed like a lot of pre-releases were happening, and I was able to actually get the playset of Davis's for a good price, actually. Like when pre-release happened, so it wasn't very hard. But I think the hardest alt art for me to get was probably the BT8 Magnamon. Just because at the time, like I didn't actually start alt arting the deck until closer to BT16. I think I started alt arting it like BT14 time, and finding the BT8 Magnamons that were alt arted at the time was pretty difficult.
Yeah, because like it's such a good card, and it's probably all the stock issues too, right? People aren't cracking BT8 as much.
Correct. Not that there aren't other versions of the BT8 Magnamon, but I usually just go for the alt arts that I like versus the max rarity. I know its max rarity version is actually like its old artwork. The one that like from the old Digimon card game that was like
The retro one, right?
the retro one, right?
gold
And I do like that one, but it's not something like it's not something that I want 4 of to play in a deck. You know, it's more or less that one would be more like a collecting version for me, like just to have one of, just to have.
Yeah, it's a neat card. It's also Chase. Like I don't expect anyone to have play sets of Chases.
Yeah, I don't have
Unless you're
the luxury,
Laszlo,
like,
which I'm gonna yell at Laszlo from the Galantmon episode. Which, by the way, go back and watch the other episodes. Laszlo has like, I think a playset, or I think his both his copies of Galantmon X were Chases, which is just insane. That's the mugshot one.
oh god.
I'm pretty sure Chi-Chi has a playset of the Magna X face card.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
has
and
it.
you know the Kiki special where like those are Pringled because he riffle shuffles, and oh my god, it hurts to look at that card, man.
It hurts for you to tell me that.
Yeah. Hey man, that's like I was gonna say the world champ difference. He's not the world champ, but that's our people's champion.
Yeah,
He's the
that's
BrickCity champion.
he is.
He's got a
Yeah.
couple of titles under him.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you want to hear about that episode 2 of the podcast, you should check that out too. Right, yeah. So of the alt-arts, I know you said the BT8 ones are pretty good, or pretty hard to get. I know they're pretty good. Lack, some guy, anything. I don't know how much you guys alt-art things.
So I actually have, and it's kind of sad because it's a little power crept now. I feel I have a one copy of the alt art BT9 Magnax, the one where it reminds me of a Metroid with the way his claw is out.
Hmm.
I know
Is
it's a
that
very
the infinite redirect one?
the infinite redirect Magna.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I almost
It's a
forgot that card
very
existed. I
it's a
like the
very
art.
controversial art, so it's funny that you say that because I've heard so many mixed things about it. Of, oh, I don't like it, or I do like it, or as I tell them, like, yeah, you might not like it because it looks like he's got a Metroid arm, very alien looking.
He looks like Frieza.
Oh, I can see that too, actually.
He's like Frieza in battle armor, gripping his the death
It's because
ball.
of the purple and the tail.
Yeah.
And the death ball. I guess that's not the sun.
But from the list that you provided, have you had any troubles getting pieces on your side?
In terms of the regular cards, or
Just building the deck or getting alt arts for whatever pieces you needed.
building the deck this time around was actually pretty nice. And mind you, I've had a lot of help with the community and such because I know when I was just going to pre-releases and then opening boxes myself, Davis was surprisingly hard to come by. We're not even talking alt arts, like just the standard Davis was like very rare for me to hit. So it was a protagonist heavy set. So the only thing you had going for that is, hey, you need this tamer, I'll trade you for a Davis. But otherwise, everything else was much lower rarity, so it was kind of nice.
It's
Yeah,
funny
'cause
that
I think-
you and I had the opposite problem. I actually saw Davis pretty easily. Not to rub that in.
Wow, he's just flexing on you right here.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut the hell up.
He's just trying to establish it's a trading card game, you know? Sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta trade more than other ways.
Yeah, and the one good thing that you mentioned is like, we had a discussion about kind of the card game communities and their mannerisms recently. Just quick stereotyping, but I'm happy that one that pops up for Digimon is that we are despite being illiterate, which haha, card game players can't read. I'm happy that we're very social. So it's kind of nice that you can have a lot of people that like you can talk to, become friends with, and then while you're getting cards, it's just like, oh hey man, like it's easy to be like social and try to barter with people that way, right? Right. So Lack, what how's getting pieces for you? I know that if people see the list, the big one that you're looking at is the Magnamon X.
I didn't even buy that one. I won that one at Anime Mix.
Hell yeah! See, that's the good player difference right there.
Otherwise, I think I like the base rarity for most of the cards better than the alts.
Oh,
Like
yeah, Digimon's got a lot of good art, so that's kind of a cool thing.
like the BT8 one is Tonami Kanji, so I prefer the base rarity for that one for sure.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic pose. Did you have any difficulties, I guess, then? Because I know you just said you're running base rarity for a lot of things. Like, did you, yeah, realistically looking at this, I guess the hardest piece would be the Magna X, and I take it that you won the one and you just didn't hunt for the other one, or you just couldn't find it?
Yeah, I didn't hunt. I figured that if I needed it, I could borrow it. Because not everyone, like my friends who play, like don't play competitively that often.
Mm-hmm.
So I could always like borrow theirs if I really needed to.
Which is to me kind of insane to hear, because I know that we were talking about it before the podcast, but you got a couple, you had a string of really good toppings, like what 6, 6, and 7. It was on Imperial, which is Veemon adjacent.
Yeah.
But at the time there, you were running the standard Imperial top end with like 2 or 3 dragon modes. You ran the Magna X, you ran the Hexablast and all that to kind of fill that
I
gap.
didn't
So
run,
I guess
I think Hexablah wasn't out yet when I played, or it had one of them was Hexablah, but I didn't play it because I didn't find one.
Yeah, fair. But hey man, but still 6, 6, and 7 is like a crazy run.
I think when I talked about that earlier, the 1/6 was the Hunters top with Gen Con.
Oh, was it Hunters? Okay.
Yeah, so it was like 2 Imperials, 1 Gen Con. Hunters.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot about that. Hey, but still, 2 Imperial runs, Veemon adjacent. The one Magna X that you won running or putting in a lot of work.
Yep. The Magna
Alrighty.
X was actually quite an MVP in my games.
And you won it, so it's just accumulating
Yeah.
value.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, with talking about all the new toys that we have in, we're not going to go over every single card. Like, we have your lists here. People know that it's roughly a BT8 list, and then you upgrade the pieces where needed. So, like, we talked about the Lighdramon being a direct upgrade. We talked about the Flamedramon. I know that Oz says he didn't play it. I see some guy doesn't, but I think that's a good budget option because the promo one is very hard to find nowadays.
Mhm.
Where do you guys think that armor kind of fits in the meta? Like, do you think it's so I hate doing like S through F tier or whatever it is, but it's like things that win, things that top, like things that can, or sorry, things that win regularly, things that can top, things that like win locals, and the things that are at locals. I think that's like the best way to describe the tiers. Where do you think it fits in that?
I think it's in a position where it can top, but you won't see it in every top. Like you won't see it in every top 16 or every store regionals. I think like you'll be able to see maybe one, maybe two, in a few top 16s this format.
Yeah.
But
I think it
I
can
don't.
definitely top 64 is like a good pilot. Top 64 is like a pretty solid spot for it.
Okay. Maybe hey, I don't know, Austin. Maybe if it shows up in a case tournament online, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think that had some good chances of it winning. How'd you find the meta when you faced into that? Because I know that was pretty early on in the set. So like, what was kind of your game plan coming into this?
So yeah, so I guess we'll go over because yes, it was I who got the first place list at Eggman's whatever triple box tournament.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's triple box. So I kept thinking
yeah,
half case.
yeah. I mean it's still good. It was only like $8 entry, so it was still good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I did win a box for this armor list. And
And
to be
sorry, quick
sorry,
thing.
go ahead.
That is the list you gave to us, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check out the list, like I said, it'll be either on screen at some point if the producer's doing his job. Sorry, the producer does a good job. Thank you.
Mhm.
Or it'll be in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, you could open that up and look through the cards from there. But sorry, go
Mhm.
on.
I think my thought process with this list is that looking at it, it's a very safe list. It's a very like cookie cutter, like probably what I don't take credit for it being very creative or outside of the box. Like it feels very safe in that matter. And I'm not going to say that I'm a great deck builder in that case, but my thought process was in building this and playing this was just like, okay, how many good cards can I fit into this deck, and just like have a bunch of good cards, and hopefully that works. Which is why like four of the ST Magna, just felt right. I just like it's such a good card. The Magnamon, I feel like, the Magnamon from BT8 at 4 just feels like, at the time when I was playing the deck, and I still feel this way, is like DP is pretty important. Just because with Magnamon X, it like 16 doesn't feel very big anymore. So the DP does feel really important. The Flamedramon, I've seen people go from like 1 to 2 to 3 on it. I just went with a safe route and just kind of like kept it at 2, just tried to see it consistently, but also to prac Magnamon X if I needed it. Lighdramon I really like, with another plus 2k DP boost. Plus it's green, so you could potentially double hit with your Memory Setter Davis. Suspending something is also nice, and the piercing sometimes comes up. So
It is really funny that that's just straight up power creep from BT8.
it is straight up power creep.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Like it is so like unapologetically like, hey, I'm here to replace you.
it just suspends anything. It gains plus 2k, and it has piercing inheritably. Like, what
Also,
does
it
the other
gains
one
plus.
just do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It also
Yeah,
gets
the-
plus
6K
2K
is really
till
good
the
too.
end of the opponent's turn, which is kind of crazy. It's like, what do you mean that lingers? What?
Yeah. It is crazy. And like the other Lighdramon just suspends a level 4 or lower. Like, hello, what? Um, it's a very strong early game card, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then I find it really cool because we face each other in Niagara. It's very cool to see that the new Magnamon, that unsuspends and then minuses DP, is basically just like the foil to the BT8 one, because the BT8 one is unsuspend and gain DP. So it's
Mhm.
another different. It's like a different way of like manipulating DP to become
It's-
stronger, basically.
It's funny, and this is a very like lore or side note kind of thing that I'm going to add right here. But I read a comment that said like this BT21 Magnamon is actually the first real yellow Magnamon that has business being yellow, right? Like the
I can see it.
BT8 one, it really doesn't do anything yellow. Like when we think about the colors and their identity, like what does Magnamon X or Magnamon as like Magnamon from BT8 offer as yellow Digimon, right? Like what point do they have being yellow Digimon? And the only thing, that like lore wise makes sense,
Because it's
because
gold.
it's
It's the
gold and it's a
color.
nerd, because I'm a nerd and they have gold Digizoid, and that's the only business they have being yellow. Whereas the BT21 one, it actually does yellow things.
That's actually great. I'm looking at the BT13 one too. Yeah, like these are just blockers.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, block, get big, block, draw a card, redirect a
Float.
bunch. That's not a very yellowy thing, yeah.
So,
The
but yeah, the
BT9
DP
one,
minus.
the BT9 Magna X is pretty yellow color.
Oh, you're right. You're right. The
It has a
BT9 Magna
recover
X.
ability.
It does. It does. You're correct. You're right.
Oh, there we go.
It's okay. The
Um,
keyword was
We
Magnamon,
got
not
him.
Magnamon X. So
Yeah.
he's still safe. He's still safe.
yeah. I guess.
So, sorry. So
Three.
I know you're going. I know you're talking through the deck.
Mhm.
But how are you finding it in the meta right now? So what do you guys think is like some good matchups? What do you think are some bad matchups? Because there's a lot of very powerful decks out right now. Like what do you say are like some of the better matchups for yourself?
When I think about the meta right now, I think of 4 decks, maybe 5 that come to mind like right away that I could probably confidently say are like the best decks of the format, and Magnamon is definitely not in the top 5.
Yeah.
So when I think about it, at least for right now, in my thought process, and feel free to disagree, is like Sakuya, Megidramon, Royal Knights, Imperial Blue Green, and probably Galactimon. You could maybe switch Galactimon with Imperial Virus, but I think I would feel comfortable with keeping Galactimon at the top 5 just because of how many people I've seen playing it. But I don't know. Would you guys disagree with that at all?
It's
I feel
funny
like that.
because I've heard other people say that, oh, you can just outspeed Galacti, but I swear every time I played against Galacti, it's either I had my tamer popped, which means that for cost I'm spending on the new Davis isn't going to get any value, or
Mhm.
they've already set up 1 to 2 Galactis and they're just stopping my attack, so I can't even use my armor evolution to trigger stuff because you got to have that card pop and you don't have that Davis to do it yourself, so it just felt pretty bad in that regard.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I don't think our Galactimon matchup is completely in their favor. To your point, however, I don't think it's as easily winnable for us in the armor matchup either. But I do think that there is a chance for us to outpace and outswing and get there faster than they can get to us. What's beneficial about dealing with Galactimon is sometimes they spend uh, about the same amount of memory, if not more, getting into their boss monster as we do, and we get to skip a level. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's
but
one of those things where I feel like I need to see Magna X and I need to see Fire Rocket. So I feel like if I have those available, I can at least get the tempo because I don't want to swing at them one at a time because I'm practically just setting up more Veemon for them.
correct.
Yeah, Galactimon's I think just a scary deck for everyone. I do agree with you that Virus Imperial's kind of fallen off. I think that's kind of Megadramon kind of took over that slot of being the really
Mhm.
unga bunga purple red deck that just kind of runs you over.
It's just more
But
consistent.
Galactimon is terrifying.
Yeah, Megadramon is just more consistent. Funny enough, I do think that Armor actually has a really good matchup into Megadramon. I don't think that. Yes, they can go unga bunga outspeed us sometimes, but I think at least from the matches I've played, I'm I'm able to kind of hold off Megadramon enough to the point where Magnamon just wins.
Mm.
So I think Magnamon does have a good matchup into Megadramon. Um, if we want to say that Galactimon is a 50-50 matchup, we could say that. I do think that maybe Magnamon has a little bit of advantage over Galactimon, but I won't say it's much.
Yeah, it's
Um,
probably just like luck and kind of. I hate saying skill diff, but like, yeah, it kind of is. Assuming two equal players, it might just be who finds their line first, right?
mhm.
But like, so how about other things? So I know that this is typically a faster deck because you want to be taking out the bodies, swinging this. I know
Mhm.
Lack, you've got like Chimeramons in here too to go for that extra check. Which, dude, I love that tech. Like,
Okay.
it's a lot of level fours slamming the Chimera. Like,
Mhm.
so mean. Uh, do you think that the speed helps you against decks like Royal Knights?
I feel like in general these armor decks is usually more favored into aggro matchups in general.
Oh,
Because like you
all
have the speed to match them, and like a lot of these aggro decks do have setup, and then you have the top end defense to like slow them down.
yeah, that's fair because you're hitting them and making a wall at the same time, right?
Mhm. I think in general,
The,
like throughout its history, it's been like that. So that's why like it did really well in the Shoutmon meta.
yeah, because you could get over them, do your chip, and they
Mhm.
could, you can block them out if you have enough or late enough because you'll have enough armors in the trash, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of cool. Oz, some guy. Do you guys kind of feel the same way? Like even applying it to today's meta?
Yeah, I think it's tough. Like Royal Knights is definitely a tough matchup. I think in the box tournament or the triple box tournament that I was in, I actually tied against the Royal Knights. I still got first place, but it was definitely up in the air of who would win if time wasn't called.
Hmm.
Um, but it was 1-1, and it's definitely not an easy matchup for Magnamon. But like if you can get there quick enough, you can definitely they do still need time to set up. So sometimes you can just get there quick enough.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I agree with that, and it's funny because I found when I was making my list, I was primarily kind of focused on I'm going to see a lot of Royal Knight representation. But at the same time, in preparing for that, I feel like I kind of tuned it a bit too much that way because I kept running into the weird dilemma of I'm not sure if my list is on the screen. I'm running the two Jedi's houses because I always want that DP on my turn so I can feel comfortable swinging. But in doing so, I'm kind of losing out on the armor evolutions. And if I'm not seeing the new Davis, it's oh, okay. We're not going to get the extra swings. Did I find the right searches? Do I have set up for something else? And there were moments where we had the gas, but now we're just stalling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I'm trying to look at your list. You only run the three Davises. I think you run more Jedi sauce. You run more Davis, right?
That's why I
Or
went more for Jedi because I didn't like it as an idea of just a one of because then it feels too sacky and you don't need it when you need it. And I basically ran it to try and get over DP thresholds to play around against the RKs and against something like Sakuya with the ruin modes and things. But in turn, I also learned you can have the fun situation of cool swing. Maybe you still die because your DP reduced against the security check, but the moment you need to purge, the DP just kind of unfortunately carries over and it's not going to save you going into another armor. So unfortunately, that was the downfall I found with the way I particularly set up my list.
yeah. How do you guys find the Sakuya matchup?
um,
Is it
I
miserable?
It can be. Honestly, it's another thing where they're kind of just searching for pieces. Ruin mode is a pain in the. I don't even
You could
want to
swear. It's
swear.
okay.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever, you guys know. It's Sakuyamon is basically, do they ruin mode you? and for how much.
Mhm.
They ruin mode coming out and minusing 10k on the board is a very detrimental thing for this deck and slows you down astronomically. Um, the other thing that they can do is like Sakuya X allows them to get a lot more swings and plays more tokens with blockers and rush tokens. Sorry, Sakuya X plays the rush token. The other Sakuya plays the blocker token, which is very annoying. While I don't think the Sakuya match is unwinnable, I think it's only if we're able to see Magnamon X early enough to kind of keep in check.
And to buy time, right?
Correct.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the Janai house will be really good into it, especially because with the DP from the Veemon and DemiVeemon, like the Magnamon survives the 10k, right?
It does. It thankfully does.
Hmm.
So then you can go straight into Magna X on your turn, because it'll be hopefully cheaper, or you'll hopefully get 5 memory off of Davis's.
The caveat to that, me saying that and you guys saying that, is actually what hurts is the pause plugin. The pause plugin is definitely
Yeah.
I know Cheech's list, who got first, actually didn't play the pause plugin, which
But
is
that's
like,
not. I don't think that was by choice. Do you know why he didn't play them?
he didn't have them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just straight up didn't have them.
Jesus. Well, I mean, it worked, so I mean, like, what can we say?
Yeah.
You know, statistics are statistics. The pause plugin hurts. Hurts a lot. Stopping the when digivolving is, and keeping the lingering minus K is harmful for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
'cause-
I play Tyrant, and God, I hate that card. That's like they're only out to the deck or to the deck, and they find it so consistently because the deck draws like a billion cards.
I remember even playing against certain Royal Knight players who would tech not pause plugin, but Queen's device, because when it kind of would do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
become a pretty regular card in that deck.
And I get it. It's an effective way at answering what once was the really super scary wall of Magna X.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about Sakuya anymore. This isn't the Sakuya one. This is
Yeah.
the Arbor podcast. So
It's
we have Galacti kind of in the middle. We have you say Royal Knights is kind of rough, or you think it's kind of because
it
I feel
depends.
like you guys could rush them down. At the same time,
I,
they also have good control tools.
I think it depends on how much they control us.
Okay.
I think Sakuya is pretty rough, but also like it's not unwinnable.
Yeah, I don't think anything is. Okay, wait before I mark my words. I'm trying to think. Is there like anything that's actually unwinnable matchup?
I think Imperial Blue Green is actually pretty unwinnable for us. I'll be honest.
I've snuck games out of them, but never matches.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good that we got Lack here that plays both sides. Like, how do you feel about the blue green into this? Because yeah, I'm trying to think of what you do.
Easy.
there ain't
Davis
much.
can strip your Veemons. What armor?
I mean, you should have the Magna X on board vulnerable, right? So it shouldn't be that big of an issue.
Can
And
you
then
Yeah,
if
get
but
to it
then they
you
just
before they
ace you
jam
when
you?
you go to swing.
Yep. They either ace you or you've been XV jammed to your security. You still got security to Magna X.
Or even better, they go into Hexablow and you can't suspend.
yeah, the Hexablow would be rough. Well, I mean, you can tech for it if you want, but like
Hey, I see 2 chimeras in your list. That's Tekken against
you
Hexablow.
tech for it. There's other options like the thing is like the setup for Imperial is like just as long as the setup for Armours. So you do have a chance to like just outpace them because of your setup. Like their setup is takes a while.
Yeah, because they have
Yeah,
to climb a little higher, right?
They
you
they
have to
need like
find their matching pieces.
yeah, like you both
Yeah.
need like at least 1 or 2 tamers on board to even start your game plan for both decks.
hmm
So like you do have like, and they can't really push up as fast as you can because if they push up and lose their backline stack and you have a punish for it, they can't build another stack for like another 2 turns.
I must
Usually.
say, the Paildramon that just says you cannot unsuspend after, it does slow me down so much when they use it against me. I get it.
Well,
I've been both sides of the coin, so
you can also play a DNA to restand it that
I was
way.
gonna say, but if you're running 2 Chimeramon,
Hey man, all I'm hearing is Chimeramon's crazy in this deck.
I was thinking
That's a
about
that's a very
Chimera
like
for the longest
BT8 build
time, and
too.
Yeah.
I remember the old BT8 Armor Rush was like you always had to think about the Chimeramon because they didn't have a good 5, and you also didn't have a good 6 at the time to go into. So it really was just the
Yeah.
Lighdros, Flamedros, and Magna.
You can also think of it like your Magnamon BT, was it 21? Will clear the pale, popping the partition, and then your Chimera will pop both bodies.
Wait, if you have enough.
Yes, you just need 4 armors in trash to pop.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I also forgot about the whole primogenitor thing because the DP
Mhm.
Linger would like if you had enough to pop whatever it goes into, it would last through that because it would go through the
Yeah.
ruling too.
Don't you have to select the Digimon with Chimeramon?
You
What do you mean?
select 4, or up to 4.
Up to 4, right?
Yeah.
So wait, would you sure? Okay, I got
So like the
confused. My
partition,
bad.
and then you can pop both 4s. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, especially as you'll probably have like the BT21 Magnamon. You stack that on, you go into Chimera,
Mm.
pop whatever partition out because it's when it would be deleted,
Mm.
and then it comes out. Then you play it on the other two, which that's actually kind of sick. Yo, I better see more Chimeramons for you guys.
Again,
So
I was
Very
always
strong one.
wondering on it.
I feel like the for example, like the fire rocket is like it's like a high roll card in my mind.
You know what? Now that you said that, I just want to chime in on something. Fire Rocket has been surprisingly funny. The amount of times it's been hidden security, and for whatever reason, the opponent had a blocker that was actually going to get in my way, and then they lost it. It was crazy. I've won matches off Fenry off of that. Um, what was it? I think I got rid of a Marcus against Shine Grey because it was technically given blocker. And it's like, well, get rid of your Marcus early.
that's actually kind of funny.
So it's put in some secret work aside from me just wanting to use it aggro.
See, I thought the fire rocket would be kind of crazy in this because you always have that the funny interaction with the whole, you swing, it's 2 checks, all the armor dies, the thing underneath still attacks. But with all
Yeah.
like the armor Digivolution card, I thought it'd be like swing, oh you trash this, it goes back into the other thing. You now like go into a Magnamon, it's still huge because it gains all the things from armor. It still has the second check and then it unsuspends, so you go for 2 more checks. Right? Like, isn't that just not crazy?
When you pay it off, absolutely. But
Mhm.
there's so much setup to that, unfortunately, that I
And
Okay.
then
I don't I think maybe that's come up once in one round, if that. And I was already in a winning position too, so like it felt very, you know what, just take your lottery ticket and go home.
yeah, it's a pretty high roll card. Like with all the aces and things in the game, it's pretty hard to reliably pull it off too.
It
Oh
is
yeah.
nice giving your Magnamon X2 security checks for 1 cost.
Mm.
Hey man.
Yeah.
I remember
I
people running what Zubagon
Yeah.
last format.
Oh,
So you
100%, because you got
Mm.
the blocker back. The best thing
yeah.
back in that format was it was easier to tech Imperial Ace because this time you say, cool, let me just do this final Zubagon. Either you can proactively Imperial Ace or you do it reactively, and they think, it's just an Imperial Ace. You don't have anything. Oh yeah, by the way, final Zubagon is applying to my entire Digimon. How about I restand my Imperial Ace with my buff from Magna, so it's immune, it's super strong, and it can kind of just defend and block against you. And they're left like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, that card gave me flashbacks. I got turn 2'd at Niagara last year.
Turn
By
two Imperial, eh?
no, I just got turn 2 killed by Magnamon X pushing, or like turn 2 or 3. It's another player we have on our server, Resolute Hero. I remember him pushing out like turn 2 or 3. Okay, cool. Zubagon, 2 checks, unsuspend, 2 checks. Little body. I lost. I got
Yeah.
destroyed. Oh no, it was little body, and then he Magnamon. He swung the Veemon for the final check, went to Magnamon for the unsuspend game.
Hmm.
Oh, now I'm getting flashbacks on that. What else do you think is like? What are there just other hard matchups? Like, as I'm gonna pull out some memories here. At Niagara, you faced me on Tyrant. I know that's not a great matchup for you, or
It is
now it's
not.
not.
Well, yeah, it is not something definitely that Well, I tried to be a little bit more cute with my list. Definitely the list that I won the box tourney with was not the complete list that I took to Niagara. Definitely tried to feel like I could, improve on it. Um, and think I could like refine it a bit, be a little bit more cute with my techs, and you know, get some wins that way. I was wrong, and it's important to admit when you're wrong. And Pete showed me just how wrong I was.
Hey man,
Uh,
it's just you low rolled the matchup, okay? Like I
Mhm.
played a matchup that no one was prepared for, and just try to
Mhm.
like cheese out someone's there. Admittedly, it's kind of cheesing them.
Tyrant is definitely a tough matchup for Magna, especially when the player knows what they're doing. Um, and that sounds blasphemous, and you might be like, "Oh, I've never lost a Tyrant matchup with my Magnamon deck." For those who are watching, well, viewers at home, um, that's because there's a lot of bug players, but not a lot of good bug players. So, um, yeah,
Well, thanks,
sorry,
man.
take that as a compliment.
H-
Uh,
How do you guys do into like the opposite side of like Tyrant walling you out? I'm assuming Angel's probably the same thing, probably worse because they have like minus DP. How do you do into Gallantmon? Gallantmon's also another very big deck.
It's still it used to be we were kind of a little better than them, then it became 50-50. There's times where it feels like they're a little bit better because sometimes they're just milling exactly what I need, but that kind of goes both ways. Because there's been times where I played against Gallantmon and I've milled all this stuff. Oh, I have a bunch of armors in here. First, I'll swing that. Purge, cool. Activate the armor evolution card. Let me go into the new Magnamon. How many armors I got in trash? What did you fill my trash with? Oh, I guess I have enough DP to kind of reduce one of your other problems, and then like Magna X the next turn. And usually it's enough to either keep them at bay, but it still comes down to if they don't find their pieces, I'm eating, and I can actually rush them down. But if they can get into their Gallon X and have like another stack ready to go, they might be able to kind of just play with me. And if they're a smart Gallimon player that knows, I'm going to try and give you as zero memory as possible to keep my Gallant alive.
Yeah, because like Lax said, armor does good into other aggro decks, and Gallantmon's fairly aggressive. And the thing is, like, wouldn't Armor Purge just completely cuck all of their effects? Oh, dude, I need to delete you. Or sorry, I delete something. If I don't, I do this other thing. Okay, cool. Oh wait, I guess you're not deleting them.
Yeah, so
Are you
there's
yeah,
times
deleting
where
them?
that
Does
plays out.
Armor Purge prevent the full deletion, or does Armor Purge go off for the deletion
It's
it prevents
instead of
deletion.
deleting,
instead of deleting? Ah, okay. And then
so they don't get their memory. And
yeah,
I
okay,
think
yeah. I guess they get the side benefits, so like DP buffs, but at the same time, I feel like you have effects that can either get around that, or you go back into another armor. You go, okay, cool, you're huge. Block. I still armor purge. Then you could clap back on your turn.
Yeah, I need to have like at least maybe two bodies on board with me because there's times where I've been hit with the okay, we're gonna use this effect, pop your armor, cool. Now do this. I'm like 32,000 DP as a Gallant X. That's kind of immune to anything that's not an option. Now raid into your biggest stack, so they can either clear one of my Magna X's or clear something that they purged into. But if I have another armor body like ready to go beside it, then they know I'm about to clap back on my next turn as well. So.
Yeah, I think that we're a little sticky for them. Like we kind of just stick around too much for them to be comfortable.
Yeah, I remember when I used to play like full War Greymon OTK. Armor was just that weird. Like, I don't want to see you because I need to be able to kill through your thing, and half the time it's like I need to do pierce damage, and if you just armor purge, like I don't get anything through.
Mhm.
Like the benefit of it of being like a fast deck is also that you're sticky and you're fast, right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
this is
And
where I'm having issues finding what's the issue with the Tyrant matchup, other than the one that pops the Tamer.
I bottom deck you. It is
Played her
so
invulnerable.
to go back to that matchup, when I played it against Oz, it was I pass turn by like you do whatever you do, I redirect you to some random body, uh, try to make it so that like I stack Tyrant the first time. Every other turn, you're gonna be Magnamon at base, maybe like what plus was it plus 1K plus 2K from your inherits? But like
either yeah,
Like
Usually
you'll
costs on your
typically
turn.
be you'll typically be like 14k because you haven't gotten the boost yet, and I just stack all my boosts on a tyrant and just make sure that it's bigger than you at any given time. So like when I faced Oz at Niagara, it was we sat there for 15 turns doing nothing because I would just boost my tyrant. I'd be bigger than him. He doesn't want to swing. Okay, cool. Next turn, do the same thing. Next turn, do the same thing. Eventually, there's the one turn where you don't swing the Magna, and I'm able to do something else to bottom deck it.
It's usually setting up 2 tyrants that makes it very difficult. So I definitely there could have been a way to play that differently. Maybe the answer is actually just trying to rush, and trying to rush through that. But 2
Yeah,
tyrants
tyrant
on
does take a
board.
bit to set up, but once I get set up, I think I can wall you out relatively fine. Lack, I think you'd have a little bit easier because I see you have the Heaven's Judgment, which is always something I got to look out for. Also, Jedi's House does help, doesn't help. Like so it depends
Plus
on.
3k.
It makes it a little more difficult because I have to find my boosts at that point. But like still base tyrant with the right inheritance is still pretty big, so like I can kind of deal with that. The big thing though, like I used to lose this matchup a lot because blinding ray existed. When blinding ray was that thing, you had such a free time to get the extra 3k from the Magnamon X that I just could not deal with it. But I think because of that hit, it makes it a lot easier to deal with.
I mean, they can still use the promo Flamedra to get the setup.
They have to raid, and most of the time I'm suspended.
Or suspended.
Yeah, can't even raid.
But
And
if
then
you swing at the security, you have to let it go, right?
Wait, hold on.
Right?
I think the Flamedramon just has to have its attack redirected, though.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
if you swing into security,
So
you
if
get
you
the
decide
Magna
to
X.
redirect, yeah,
and
when
if you
attack
don't
target is
think-
switched.
Yeah.
But,
I think the
but
turn
remember,
that he tried doing that, I was already mega stacked.
yeah.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, finding it when it's only a 2 of in the deck sometimes is very difficult.
Yeah.
That's
Also, I know that one of the big weaknesses to the deck, in general, is anything that runs Paladin mode. Because you could do the swing. Oh no, I block or I redirect here. I go into Paladin mode. You lose the armors from underneath, and then when you purge the top layer, you're not purging anymore. You're just dying.
Yes, it is important to note that their redirect effect happens before blocker timing, so they can or ace timing. So redirecting happens before ace timing, so they get to redirect and then ace into Paladin mode. So
Yeah,
it's nice
yeah.
for you.
All that tells me
sorry,
is
Oz.
maybe there's some spice to be played with BT9 Magna X, who has the redirect, and then immediately blast into something like a Jesmon GX Ace, from what I'm hearing.
Hey, that would work. I know the Jesmon GX is a crazy card.
It really is.
Even that you could also run Paladin in that deck because Magnamon X is a level 6, right? It's not level 7 yet.
Yeah.
Level 6, and it's blue, so
Yeah, you could
that's
Paladin
many
them.
options.
I play an Imperial. I do the combo
Yeah.
an Imperial.
Yep. I swear there was also old Imperial lists that were running or not old, but earlier in the format when the LM set came out, they were running the Bond of Bravery ace as another level 7 ace. You just throw people off guard. Comes
Bond
out
of
bottom next
Friendship,
thing.
so
Oh yeah,
with the
Bond of
free
Friendship.
spin.
Sorry, Bond of Bravery is the Agumon. Like, Lack, you ever tried out that wackiness?
I haven't. I don't own one, but Dan Van was saying about it, I think, earlier.
Yeah, like it's another Bond card. Bond cards are actually kind of crazy. Like, what does this one do? So I'm trying to find it.
It swings twice in bottom decks. Anything, I think. On the
Yeah,
on play one Digimon, return to your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards as this to the bottom deck. You're playing Imperial. You have a billion sources, and then when attacking, you have a Tamer. This unsuspends. Like that seems like a crazy thing in most blue decks now.
No, I joked in
It's good tech.
BT like 2.5, I guess it was. Armours was essentially for me treated as, it's level 7 free toolbox. Which level 7s do I want to run? Do I want to go Ruin modes? Do I want to go GX Aces? Do I want to go Bond of Friendship to get all the extra swings after making it a Magna and stuff? Because again, you usually have a Tamer out, so you're getting the fairly cheap thing. Match up a blue Scramble or a blue Memboost. You got like a level 7 for practically 1 memory. After
The fact
cheating
you have
into
all
a
the
level
options, the fact you have all the options open too, because you're tricolored, is like insane.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of kind of toolboxy, One of the topics I had for today was like, in the past we had like an armor rush deck, and then kind of around when did Magnamon X come out? BT16. Am I right?
Yes.
The newest
BT16.
one, yeah.
The newest.
Yeah,
one,
when BT16 came out, it kind of just became like the Magnamon
Magna.
X deck. Yeah, like Magnamon X was his own deck. The Armor Rush is kind of a deck, but like Armor Rush didn't have too much support at the time, so it kind of went more that way. And then I know that some of the armor cards are used in what they call free box, which is just Imperial with the free top end. How do you guys feel that the deck is now? Do you think that Magnamon X is still the star of the show, or do you think that like it could be its own deck, or do you think that more so it's kind of homogenizing to like Armor Rush, like back into the full armor kind of gameplay?
I think for me, I think like Magnamon X is too good of a card to not play. And I'm still at the thought process that it probably needs to be at 4 in this deck just to be able to play into other matchups. However, what I've realized is that now with the new like Armor Rush toys, the deck doesn't have to be solely Magnamon X to get the win con. So while Magnamon X was probably the star of the show before, I feel like it's definitely safer to say that like he can share the spotlight with the other level 4 armors in the deck in order to get a win. And the deck, I will say on a side note, feels a lot more fun than it did when it was just the Magnamon X deck.
Yeah, because I feel like the other ones, it's like any boss deck. Oh, you can't find your boss mon, especially since it's so like its power level so skewed. It felt bad, but I feel like if you just have armors in this, like in the build now, it's fine. Like you're just having your 4s.
Hmm.
Yeah, usually the power of these low to the ground decks is that your deck is super consistent.
Hmm.
Well, not only that, I would argue part of why we had that Magna X and BT16 is with the introduction of aces in BT14, it kind of curb stomped the whole concept of armors. You had so many answers to rookie rush and like level 4 rushing based decks that you kind of couldn't keep up a little bit. I would say now there are variants, like we're still hearing things of what do they call it, the cool mag variant, where they're running the cool boy, the Omekas, and like the Omni X's as like a mid-rangey version that's still consistent now. They're still what we're all kind of running more or less in our list of trying to see like a 4 of Magna X to use as a top end, almost like an emergency switch button. And then I would argue if you want to forego that Magna X altogether, or again, you don't have the promo Flamedramons, you can still probably do well, at least at the local levels, with just like a standard rush based list. Like you can use either the BT21 Flamedramon lets you unsuspend and gains DP, turn stuff into like the Kimeramon, maybe use some other variants of a top end level 6 if you even want to go there. But on the higher level, to at least get to anywhere to like at least a top 32, you do still kind of need the Magna X. It does the fact that it's a card that is printed and says any and all of your opponent's effects won't do anything to you is just it's too good. It's a very strong wording.
I kind of forgot about the cool mag, build. That deck is, I think that deck is really cool. Like it uses a lot of the new tools really well, and the fact that Magnamon, there's so many of them now, and they're all pretty good. Actually, I think every Magnamon's kind of a banger. Because like the BT8 with the gaining DP blocker, the BT21 minus DP blocker, the starter deck one being like one of the most annoying cards ever because
That
you
I would
card is
say
strip it down
that
to things.
I would say
You
that
need
Like I
games
think,
like
Digivolve if you
that.
hit it in sack.
yeah, right. Like I think the cool Magnamon is actually kind of a crazy list.
I think it's something that I'm slowly starting to play with, um, but I haven't put enough reps into it to give a educated opinion on it just yet.
I
But
don't
it
have
is
a
something
second
that
Omni X, so I can't. I feel like I can't do it, and I don't think BT10 is the way to go.
No, BT, dude, the new Omniax is just a broken card. But yeah,
I know, but
I
it
see
has
one
two of
list on
minimum
Digimon
in those
Meta.
lists.
I'm looking at a quick list on Digimon Meta. Yeah, 3 Omniax. There's a Paladin. There's one with like a GX Ace. So like, I guess it is kind of going back to. I guess that's the new
I would say
Magnamon
that's the
X deck.
BT7 toolboxy version of it.
Yeah, like
Royal
I would
Maiden
consider that
toolbox.
more of like no, I would consider that more of like the Magnamon X deck because you want to turbo out Magnamon going to X, and then now you have your your powerful level 7 options and such to kind of keep turn, right? Or not keep turn, but like to wither them down.
Mhm.
I
It's
think I
more of the
will be.
mid-range strat.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has more toolboxy cards, and you get to run Mega Seedramon X, which allows your attack not to be redirected.
I hate that
Um,
card.
Yeah.
That was
That card's
the
the bane of my existence.
that was the upgrade to what were we running before in Magna base list?
Huankunmon.
Honk, the fish-looking one.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not playing Juan Kunmon. Don't you want to have your Veemons get played out? Or am I
Okay,
thinking the wrong
so
one?
you're thinking of the wrong one. The Huankunmon that would not let your attack be redirected is actually a blocker that makes it so that you can't die by battle, which is still useful. But
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
I looked them
better
up.
when
I'm thinking of EX6, but it's actually the BT19 one, right?
Yeah, it was great when Gallantmon X was a top dog because that pretty much made it you were talking sticky earlier. That is what made your Magna really sticky against Gallantmon because can't pop it, can't raid into it because it's gonna stay.
Mhm. What was really good about the Mega Seedramon X is that because you play the X-Antibody in Cool Magna, you can actually get its second effect as well to make it so that something can't suspend. Um, so there's that. I will say that I
That's kind
want
of
to.
goofy.
It is. It is pretty goofy. I will
Speaking
say
of
that I want to play more of Cool Magna. I just haven't put in enough reps to make an educated decision whether or
Mhm.
not
and
it's better or not.
then just to add to goofiness, I had to unfortunately clarify this to a couple other people. Remember, the Vega Seedramon X's inherit is this Digimon's attack target can't change, which is great when you're a Magna X. But remember, when you become that new Omni X with the raid and piercing, you yourself cannot raid into your opponent's Digimon because that is technically an attack target being changed. So FYI.
That's actually
For all
kind of
our,
funny. I never ever thought about it from like the reverse side. Because I'm
yeah,
always getting used to by running over by getting run over by Omni X.
so for all our listeners and viewers out there, be sure to use that against your friends at locals.
Alrighty. Yeah. So talk about the cool boy thing. You said you couldn't make an educated guess. Do you think how would the two decks fare into each other?
That's a good question.
How do you think that? How do you think that would go?
I think that's a tough to say. If you can rush it down, um, maybe the regular armor Magna deck has the edge. But honestly, like if it plays out longer than it needs to be, like it's first off having the inheritable to not be redirected is already a point for Cool Magna. Uh,
Mm.
and it doesn't play as many tamers and doesn't well okay it does play a couple of tamers with the cool boy and the Davis and stuff like that, but it definitely adds a little bit more consistency with the draw one gain one memory just on Digivolve versus trashing something. And then obviously you still play the memory setter Davis that searches. And then Omni X is just a crazy card, and Imperial Dramon Paladin Mode Ace is a crazy card, and Jesmon GX is a crazy card, and you play those comfortably in the deck with the space not being as tight. So it's tough to say. Plus, you get to have the benefit of sometimes having the Omekamon combo, where you can just hard play it and digivolve into Omnimon X for free, and get all of
Yeah, if
those.
you have low security, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
Or
isn't the worst thing. Hey,
alternatively,
you're trying to get security out to get the Magnamons out or the Magnamon X effect, right?
Yeah.
and then
So
alternatively too, remember all the Magnamons are Royal Knights. So if your Magnamon's going to be purged, that's as if it was going to leave the battle area. Tap your cool boy. Now you get an Omekamon on the field because technically you were going to have somebody that left, but you just purged instead. So now you got another body. So you
Oh
can
yeah,
kind
that
of take advantage of that too. So I haven't personally played it, but I have heard from some others who have done like the versus matchup. From what I've been told, is it is a case of the BT21 stuff did make regular armors or armor magna faster, but if you hit the wrong things in security, it's pretty quick for them to kind of take all that initiative and slow you down and spin it back in their example.
oh, maybe some food for thought. Maybe in the future we might cover cool Magna if I get some wacky support, or if we just want to do some random deck showcases.
Bandai, if you
Alrighty.
are hearing this, give us more reprint sets. Give us more ways to get Omni X's, you know?
Hey man, Omni X just came out. So I know that it might be a little hard for them to do the reprint there, but yeah, I do agree. Having some more reprint sets would be nice.
Give us something like
RB1
the
was kind of nice.
Give us something like the Megatins, like not just like a reprint set, but like something that we can have a side product that we can buy and feel cool.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I'll give Yu-Gi-Oh is like their Megatins are really
Yeah,
popular for a good reason.
that was such a
Yeah, I
great
think that'd
product.
actually be really cool for us to get in this. Like, make it the same style as the West LM set. I know that our LM set we had that was the one that came with all the new aces and such. That was kind of nice, but if we made another product like that, that was reprints, the same way that we did RB1, except just kind of take those out, so it's not like a full booster box, because it does feel bad to get a booster box of that, especially as a store, because most veteran players won't want to go for it. But if you have a smaller package item that guarantees some cards, I think that would sell like pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the LM set is definitely a step in the right direction in that regard, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hopefully we get more. I know that we've already got announcements for them, but I think that's something really good, especially the way they want to handle promos. But we're getting a little off topic. So just want to wrap things up a couple here. What do you think is the MVP in the deck? And I know that we said the level 4s are strong because Magnamon, but like if you had to pick a 1 or 2 cards that are like, okay, these are the central game plan cards, like what would you go for?
For me, it's easy. It's Armor Digivolution for sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
By far standout MVP for the entire deck.
I think so,
Yeah.
just because it allows the armor play style as a whole able to have reactionary and pro-actionary moves.
I'm also going to argue one thing with that as well. We haven't talked about it this podcast all yet. BT21 Veemon. BT21 Veemon is just nutty. It's not once per turn. It reduces the Digivolution cost by 1 every time. But what makes Armor Digivolution even better because of that is because you get such a nutty effect on a Veemon, you don't tend to run too many Searcher Veemons anymore. So the fact that Armor Evolution is replacing your armor, potentially doing it proactively or defensively, and allows you a search while setting up a delay, match made in heaven.
Yeah, I didn't even think about losing a searcher, but yeah, that's sick that it covers that spot. And yeah, I didn't realize till now that you said that wasn't once per turn.
We did
The
not
cost
talk about
the
Veemon
reduction.
the
Yeah,
whole
we
time.
didn't.
Hey man, we talked
We
about
focus so much
Armor
on the
Rush,
armors.
okay?
It does make the armor rush a lot faster because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
we
also
got
sets up
the
Chimera because it's a blue green. Blue red.
that falls into the other one afterwards. So we'll talk about that topic after. But Lack, what do you think is the MVP for you? Would you kind of follow suit, say
Of the
Armor
new
Digivolution
ones,
and V? No, of
yeah,
everything, of the entire deck.
of the entire of the new pieces in general. Well, I mean, of the entire deck, it has to be Magna X, right? Because it's just too strong. But for the new pieces, yeah, Armor Digivolution because of the Searcher and has the protection. The new Magnamon actually allows you to play a control the game plan because you can just pop their ace targets and then continue swinging, and you can set up your Davis and your Armor Digivolution to like stack them twice on the same turn to pop a 16 because you'll like trash the Magnamon to boost your DP reduction for another 2k and you evolve into another one.
Oh yeah, because it'd be adding itself as a source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and DP minus is like the best removal we have in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's because he gets around all those can't be deleted by effects kind of effects too.
Yeah,
And then
and with Davis, you can like set it up pretty easily. Like you can do it without swinging at all.
I want to see something goofy, like you go into BT8 Magna, make yourself like big, but just slightly smaller than them. They swing, you block, go into purge, go into the other thing, minus DP on them.
I've done that. It's kind of funny.
Or you minus DP so that they're still just slightly above you. You block, you go into the Magna X or the Magna. I think that's kind of funny.
I've had so many games where I have both of those Magnas, and that's literally the how do I want to play this? Which way do I want to annoy them? Do I give them overconfidence and tilt them the other way, or do I make them think I don't have thing and then just put a big blocker for later?
Do you guys try to prioritize one over the other, or is it more just if body, kill body, if not, set up blocker?
You always
I'll
have
be
to deny them the gameplay that they want.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll be honest. There's been so many times, unfortunately for me, where I don't have enough armors and trash to pop and sorry, let me rephrase that. To DP reduce and remove the valid target. So I don't always get that opportunity. But otherwise, like my comrades here said, if you can get rid of it, get rid of it.
Mhm. And I guess that follows for the starter deck magnitude, because you could just strip the sources and bounce it back, and bouncing is also really strong.
I've done shenanigans where they hit it in security. I will purposely de-digivolve one of my armors or something that's still on field, so I can like go ahead and trigger armor evolution and go into the BT21 Magnamon. I've done that a couple of times where like, you know what, this is fine. I'm not gonna go into the strip and bounce one because you're probably swinging at me with like a whole bunch of sources already. Let me just DP reduce you. Get rid of the problem right there.
What if you had a Veemon and an armor on? Like, let's say you had a Magnamon and then a Veemon out. They hit the one in security. You de-digivolve your own Magnamon. You could proc armor Digivolution, go into a new armor, and then you could digivolve the Veemon still, right? Into the
Yeah,
Magnamon
you
that just came for
can
security.
digivolve both. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
It's never
That's kind
happened,
of
but
crazy.
theoretically.
Hey
Yeah.
man, I'm just thinking of like the jackpot hit, you know? You do that, you pop 2 fire rockets, you swing, you go for game, you know,
Oh, you swing
combine both
both?
high rolls together.
Chimera.
Yeah, Chimera. So I know we talked about Chimera, so it's already kind of lost the shock value here. But what's like the spicy text you guys have for the deck? So we'll go with this one and not the cool Magna, because that's entirely different build. So you could think of different texts. But like we talked about the Chimera, I think Chimera is a really good pick. We talked about Jedi's House being a really good plus 3k your turn, so it does get you a little stronger, a little like over the hill. It also procs Magna X, right? Because you're taking away the security.
Jedi?
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Correct.
So once
Yes.
Blinding Ray got hit, that was
Mhm.
part of why I wanted Jedi's House or Island of Adventure if you want it on front and you want to potentially get your opponent to give you a tamer.
Yeah, like what else? What else is some spicy text you guys think could be run in this deck?
I was thinking maybe Analog Doof might be interesting to just pump your armor in trash.
I just thought you wanted another way to see your Chimera from a search.
That is also true. But putting in trash is pretty funny.
That is kind of
Um,
funny.
I think an ace card that like you don't get to see very often. People play it as like Gabu Bond Ace. Could be probably safely played in this deck if you really wanted to.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier,
Yeah,
right?
level
To go over
7
the Magna
AD.
X.
Yeah,
The bond of friendship.
correct.
Wasn't there old? Well, I guess there was, because there was the vaccine Magnamon deck that used to run Angelwomon, like those aces. Will we see anything kind of like Zudomon in this deck potentially being a pick?
I found, at least with the way this format's been, unless if it's a Royal Knight, there's always going to be more than 2 cards that they're stripping from, so you're probably not going to get the Zudo Ace to do that. And I thought about it with Galactic, but that Destromon is a funny guy with the way that it's worded, where it kind of protects itself from de-digivolve, protects itself from being stripped of sources. So I was like, oh, that can be a way to get rid of the problem card in Galactic, but it kind of mitigates that. So Zudo hasn't been finding its heart with me in my list space.
Mm.
You think, and this is just me spitballing here, do you think where Garurumon Ace could see play in this? Because in one of the, I literally just looked up blue level 5 overflow, and these are the only two, Zudomon and Wergarumon. But the more I look at this one, you prevent things from attacking, which stops things like Galactimon from doing good old Ragnarok cannon. But like, do you think having a weird stun effect like this might help sometimes? I'm just spitballing. I don't think this is actually a big
I actually, when Magna X first dropped out, or came out, I should say, is that there was this guy in Japan actually that I think got first or second place with Magna X, and he, instead of Zudo Ace, he was playing the Wergarumon Ace, and I was actually playing with his list at the time, and I do like Wergarumon Ace. I think it's a very overlooked card, but once again, like. I don't know if it has its place in this deck. I
Hey,
think
it helped in the Tyrant matchup.
I think
listen,
yeah. I think what it was is in that format too, not a lot of Digimon had the ability to ignore effects. Now, like a lot of cards are gaining the ability to ignore some of your opponent's interactions, so you're not always going to have that guarantee for you're facing a top meta deck that's not going to let their tamer or Digimon suspend. Like that's why because I probably found the same guy's list thinking on it because I remember like I never bought BT15, but I know I wanted that particular card, so I went to at least chase 2 copies, and every time I'm like, what am I going to use this on in this current meta that I think is going to make a big difference?
Mhm.
And I haven't been
I
able to really solve that answer confidently.
I think the question is, if there's really going to be a level 5 in this deck, how is it not going to be Mega Seedramon Mega Seedramon X? Right? Like, if you're going to play a level 5 at all. I know the ace play is important, but, at the end
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just
day,
kind of spitballing ideas.
yeah.
Lack, I see on your list, you have good old Heaven's Judgment, which I think that's just you wanted just a removal spell from there, right? Or a removal option. How do you find the Daiken? Oh, this is old Daiken. This is even. I thought this was BT16 for a second.
No, it's just another restand. So you can
Just
go
another
into both
restand,
of
right?
the new level 4s and just swing twice. I mean, when I played Armours in BT14 with the new promo Veemon, well now it's old, but the high roll is the promo Veemon with the Bukamon, the jamming one, and then you set up your Davis Ken on turn 1. So then when your turn 2 comes, you swing jamming, and then you restand your level 4, and you're guaranteed to go to level 4, and you swing again.
Oh man, I'm having like the high roll scenario in your deck where it's just like the fidget spinner, swing, unsuspend, swing, unsuspend, swing, unsuspend, DNA, go for Chimera like the old way.
Mhm.
But I feel a little bit more consistent because they're more powerful now.
Yeah, there's also like the Heaven's Judgment. Your Chimera can like consistently get 5 colors because of the blue-red Veemon.
Oh, you just nuke their whole board.
Yeah, you do like even like not including Magnamon, like the BT21, like you're doing at least 20k minus DP on 4 body, like 5k on 4 bodies, and your Heaven's Judgment is at least 36k, right? Like 42.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't even think about how strong that'd be with Chimera. Just all the colors you have, just nuking everything. Even then, just having like two armors out when you only have 3 colors, right?
Or one in the front, one in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty. Is there last question. I know we're kind of getting into time here. What's like one thing you're looking forward to in the deck? Like a future piece of support. What's like one tool that you wish the deck had?
I
Mm.
kind of wish there was like a different X, like a Flamedramon or a Lighdramon X.
Okay. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like effect wise, like, is there anything that you're looking for in terms of effects, or do you think that some of the new tools have kind of covered what you had wanted from before?
I always want to be able to play Davis off of a Digi.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were gonna do some kind of Flamedramon that specifically plays like a hero Davis or something. Because I know there's always we need a way to cheat our Davises out, but we can't have it be very Imperial because that's just gonna break it too much the other way.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even want to say another option card because I don't feel like that's correct. But like maybe, potentially a rookie or potentially an armor that says like when this top card is trashed, you can play a tamer out for free.
That makes sense.
That might
What
be that might like be too much, but like it might be like adding more steps to do something simple, but you know, it
let me
could
throw
still
on
be synergy.
let me throw on my EX5 designer hat for a second, because we know how EX5 was a greatly balanced set. What if you got a Veemon that had the armor Digivolution delay effect as its inherit? So if it were to trash the top card, you could digivolve into another armor for free
I'd be interested.
once per turn.
I'd be interested into seeing like how that actually is the ruling to how that works because then it's trash and then it's not an inherit anymore.
It would be
But
like
I
a when it
know,
would,
yeah, okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
right? Like when it would do this, you can purge it and digivolve into another thing. Like, do you think that'd be like insanely busted? Okay, I think it would be insanely busted.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
how
yeah,
powerful do you
absolutely.
think it'd be?
It'd be really good.
I think let's merge those ideas. When this Digimon would purge, play a tamer out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work. That would be. I think that'd be a cool way to fit things in thematically too.
Mhm.
Alrighty. I think that's it for what we got. No, we're kind of a long one here. So thank you guys so much for joining. Um, it's very nice to kind of see, insights from current viewpoint, and I know you guys have played through the deck since like before, all the way back in BT8. So kind of seeing the perspective throughout the time has always been very nice. Um, just as usual, I want to do some shout outs to the community. So shout outs to BrickCity. Thank you for being such a good community. Untouchables, Manta Trading, Red Riot Games, Six Tails, community member for creating these icons you see on screen, and our mystery producer who never wants to be named, but thank you so much for your hard work. Oz, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Just thank you for the community that I'm a part of. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to play more Digimon. Can't wait to be on another one of these podcasts. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Hey, we'll get people in. Don't worry.
And yeah, thank you, you beautiful gentlemen, for being around me today. And I'll shout out some streamers. We'll shout out DigiPanda for his cool merch. And we'll shout out Curiosity for streaming every week. Doing a great job with the community and all that stuff. Yeah.
All right, Lack, you got anyone?
You already shouted
Sure.
out Manta Trading. Thanks for having me. That was a blast. Yeah.
All right, and some guy, any final words for you?
Yep, I want to say shout outs to Untouch and Manta for being a great community for playing locals and other events. And shout out to Veemon for just being his darn awesomeness and 3 decks that always seem to appear in a top 16 list somewhere in the world.
God, we love Veemon.
Woo!